Hi, my name is Kaylee Batterham, and my research project is on comparing the effects of journaling and smartphone applications for exercise motivation in sedentary individuals. So this project does focus on exercise, but instead of focusing on the physical aspect, I want to focus on the psychological aspect, and more importantly, motivation, because motivation is a key factor when it comes to exercise, which many sedentary people lack. And when it comes to current technology, they track exercise and diet, and this helps with motivation. But this has a short-term effect on motivation, especially for those who are sedentary. So the goal of this project is to determine which tools promote long-term motivation in sedentary individuals to exercise. And so my hypothesis is that those who perform journaling and hands-on goal setting will have a longer time period of motivation than those who partake in app tracking. And so in order to test this hypothesis and achieve these objectives, my specific aims is to determine which factors play into a motivation of sedentary adults when it comes to exercise, and also which tools are effective in promoting exercise to sedentary individuals. So why do I want to do this? Well, let's look at some of the facts here. 23% of adults and 81% of adolescents are physically inactive, and this is causing a 6% worldwide mortality rate due to non-communicable diseases. And evidence shows that high body mass is a physical and psychological barrier to exercise. So what's happening here? This is showing that sedentary adults are being diagnosed with heart disease, and they're dying of heart disease. And so when it comes to finally exercising and making their heart healthy, sedentary people are physically seeing that they can't do it. And when they physically see that they can't do it and they physically feel that they can't do it, they're going to think that they can't do it. And that's what keeps them sedentary. So by building autonomous motivation in physically inactive people, the physical and psychological barriers to exercise are diminished. And recently, smartphone apps have shown some significance in improving motivation to exercise, but this has only been for the short term. So those who find it hard to sticking to an exercise routine when using mobile apps, they need an individualized program instead of a one method fits all technique. So what's happening here is that when it comes to using smartphone apps, sedentary people use them, they love them, but they only use them for a short amount of time, because what happens is that they start to lose interest. They start to gain more back into that. They draw back into their sedentary ways. And so the expected benefits of this study is to create a healthy mindset and a routine and a lifestyle for sedentary adults that is unique to them and that's going to keep them interested into continuing exercise and continuing their motivational techniques. So what's innovative about this project is that it's a qualitative study that focuses on the sustainability of sticking to an exercise routine. And this is with journaling and smartphone app tracking. So instead of using quantitative data to determine how much weight is being lost, how much blood pressure has dropped because of exercise, I solely want to focus on how long can we get sedentary people to exercise. I don't care about how much weight they're losing. I just want them to go out and exercise. And so this is going to seek to shift the attention from exercise being physical to purely psychological. How can we just get sedentary people to go out every day and do some exercise? And so the approach of this study is it's going to be an 18-month crossover study. It's going to have two groups. One group is going to partake in journaling and hands-on goal setting, while the other group is going to partake in app tracking. And both groups are going to walk 3 times a week for 45 minutes, and they're also going to weight lift 2 times a week for 45 minutes. They're going to do this for 6 months, and then after 6 months, they're going to have a 6 months sabbatical where they're doing neither journaling or app tracking. And this is purely to see whether they can continue with just pure motivation for exercise or if they stop exercising. And this is going to be the control. This is going to see where they're at with their motivation and if they can continue on their own. And then after that 6 months, we're going to go through another 6 months. And this is when both groups are going to switch their motivation techniques. So the one that was doing journaling is now going to be doing smartphone app tracking. And the one that was doing smartphone app tracking is now going to do journaling. And throughout this whole thing, throughout this whole process, we're going to be collecting data on blood pressure and weight loss. And this is just to make sure that they're doing exercise. This is just to make sure that they're not lying, because we can just give them a survey and say, have you exercised today? And they can say yes or no. I want to be a little bit more strategic and see, like, if they are losing weight, they're losing weight. If their blood pressure is going down, it's going down. But I solely want to see how many days they're exercising. How long can they go with using these motivational tools to exercise? And one of the potential problems that I know for sure that will be a problem is participation. I'm not surprised if this does happen, but the group that I'm focusing on does struggle with sticking to a routine. This is not going to be a surprise. If they struggle with sticking to a routine, they're going to struggle with participating in the study. So when this does happen, I want to see whether they completely drop out or how long it takes for them to get back into the swing of things. And yeah, that's my study.